Yeah. Okay, here we go again. And so this is my little watering technique. And it's all about using what you got. And I love making sure all my plants stay really hydrated. And I do these tiny little planters. That way they can fit into these tiny little pots. But of course, these are my, dare I say, my Starbucks cups because that's what I got right now. But I've cut them down, drilled holes in the bottom. Obviously it's dripping on me, I just watered this one. But yeah, so now he fits perfectly and adorably in this adorable little pot that I got for 50 cents. So turn 50 cents into a gorgeous little, almost Asian looking thing. So I'm gonna take some water. Oh wow, you can't see that there. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. I've got this see-through cup. I'll go back. And basically I'm gonna use this one here. Just gonna water this till the water is up to the same height of the plant. So you can see, because of my compost, it gives off a little bit of worm tea. So yes, my question is maybe I'm draining some of that worm goodness into the water, but it's going to go into all the other plants as I keep watering. So I did already water this one, and I watered it all the way up to the top of the plant, as you can see right there. And then I'm going to let it drain, and then I have then I'm going to put it right back into this little pot. Right there. You got to go right there. Good guy. Okay, now I've got this one. And he's really dry. So again, what did I do? I cut my pot so that it fits right in there so I could take him out. I have two in there. This one was holding the other one because I have all these little beads and a little bit of moss to decorate the pot. So I'm going to pour these guys out and kind of start over. But what we're really going for right now, you can see I set him in here, so there's water to here. It's trying to soak it up through the holes at the bottom of the pot, but I'm going to pour the water over the top. Try not to splash the dirt out as you're pouring it in, so pour really slow. And as it soaks down, it's also soaking up. So as this raises, they'll meet in the middle, and the entire inside of the pot will be wet. So that one's taking a little while to drain. It's having a hard time absorbing, it looks like. Sometimes I'll give it a little spray to moisten the top if it's really dry. That way it creates a little bit more of an absorption from the top down. Smaller water molecules can absorb quicker. Just keep pouring slowly. I don't want to splash the dirt out into the bowl. Guess what? A little worm came out. Okay, come here, little guy. I don't want to drop him into the radiator. Oh my goodness, he is just jumping all over. Oh, what a cutie. Look at him. Look at him squirming around. He's so cute. He wants to get back in this dirt. He's like, Mama, do not take me out of the dirt. Okay, he's going to be super happy. Oh, wow, he's going so fast. Oh my God, I love it. Can you see it? I don't even know if you can see it. He's kind of blended in there. No, you can't. But you can see my other little watering system here. He was in this guy and he was so dry. He was lucky he didn't die. Okay. Okay, back to this guy. Yes, now the water is almost to the top. Oh, my little fruit fly. Shh, don't tell Ryan. That fruit fly flying around in here. Okay, and a little bit more. Now it's starting to look like it's kind of balancing out, which, because I want the inside, that's why you're watering in. So friends of mine, you have really good luck bringing all your plants into the bathtub, seal up the bathtub, spray them all down, because what you're trying to do, especially with terracotta, yeah, it soaks it in, but then it stops. It doesn't soak all the way in. You want all the way into the center of the pot. That's why this method of soaking, once a week, once every couple of days, depending on how much sun it's getting, depending on how much heat, like the room temperature. If the room temperature is really hot, you need to water more often. Okay, so, oh, he has cute little roots coming out of the bottom. That's always good to keep a little extra water in the pot. Oh yeah, here he is. Okay, so with this guy, I might switch him out with another guy. I don't have anybody to switch him out. So what I did with this, I wanted to have all these decorative pieces, because this is very small here, so there's all this extra space. So I wanted to create more of a natural looking environment. So I'm going to tuck this empty one, which also has holes in the bottom for drainage. I'm going to tuck this guy into the corner and then pour some of these into the other corners to create more of a ground-like base. So that I'm going to put the baby back in and cover it so that I can pour around it. Almost as bad as Legos when you step on them. Yeah, definitely. But at least these are round. I guess Legos are square and pointy. Okay, so this guy's been soaking good amount. Just let him drip a little bit. Shake him out a little bit. And then he sits right on top. So now you can see the top of his pot is right at the top here. Then I finish filling in the gaps with these cutie beads. And then I come back with the little moss, any little other gaps or places of the pot that I don't want to see, I just cover with the moss. So get in the corners there, and maybe a little bit. I probably need a couple more, probably the ones I spilled on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy over here. That way you don't see the pot and it looks... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to add a little rock here. I have a couple of little rocks. I'm just going to put those so you can't see the side of the plastic. And that's really just my... See? So now it just looks like a natural little garden. You can't see the plastic from the cup. And I got a nice watering. Okay, so we're going to put this guy over here. See if you can see these guys. Okay, good. Next guy. Oh, I gotta go over here and get this one. Andrea, this little cutie, my little unicorn. Okay, still smells like the candle it was in. So this was a candle holder given to me by my beautiful friend. And so this little guy, I left a little, can you see this little lip here? You can barely see it. Let's see, can you see that? It's plastic, clear plastic. So I left a little lip in the back so that I can easily pull it out, because this is such a small container that this doesn't fit if I had a whole... Oh my goodness, I have nothing with me today. Okay, so if I had a whole one, it does not fit further down in there because the angle of the cup is wide. So I'm going to put this guy in. He's probably got enough room. I don't have to pour anything in, but I also don't want to squish the dirt out. So this guy's just going to need to soak it in, and I might spray it, because if I pour water, it's going to splash all the dirt out. So I just want to get from the, is that a little more? From the top down. Always super excited to see the baby worms. A little bit more in here. And from the angle, missing it. So if I spray from the top down, it helps get the moisture from this side, and then it also pulls it up from the bottom. Yeah, that's looking good. So you can kind of tell when you start to see the water not going down because it's basically being pushed back up by the water from underneath. So top and bottom, meeting in the middle, coming all the way into the center. Yeah, so this guy's looking really good. Yeah, when I swish it around, I can see in the middle, I can see the water kind of swishing around. That means it's soaked all the way through from both sides. So I'm gonna let that drip a little bit. Yep, see, you can see some water in the gaps there. And put this cutie right, oh, he's so adorable. What a baby. Okay, so I'll put him back on the shelf. Grab these other two guys. This is where the editing comes in handy. And poof, I'm back with two more. Okay, wait, I'm gonna put these guys in here. So, this guy's pretty tall, so I've got lots of room to work with. Set him right in there. And because I have the moss on top, more as a moisture retention, he is still pretty moist inside, but it's good to do a weekly watering just to get a little fresher. And I don't have to worry about pouring too hard because the moss is absolutely holding the soil in. So also using these little beads as a top on the pots retains the moisture as well as prevents the, as I'm watering it, prevents the soil from splashing out. So also a good little tool there. Also good mixed in with the soil because, as I read recently, this helps create aeration. So one of the features of worms is they burrow around through the roots and it creates air. Not only are they giving off their beneficial slime, if you will, as they travel around, but the aeration gives the roots the air that they need. So one of the downsides of all of my compost is that it's very heavy and very moisture retention. So it can get really thick and waterlogged. So if the roots are sensitive to too much water, depending on the plant, then they need more air. So you can balance out the heavy moisture with these little pellets. It creates a nice little air balance with the water. So again, I'm trying to get all the way up to the top so that I know from top to bottom into the center by pouring down into the middle of the plant here. I get water all the way through, not just on the edges, not just on the tops. And what the biggest problem is when you pour it on the top and you think you're watering it, all it's doing is going down the sides. So you want all the way in the center to be really moist, and that maintains the plant for a lot longer. Oh, my meditation, that's so great. Okay. Yep, so it's almost up to the top, as you can see here, the top of the plant. I could go a little bit more, but like I said, I think this guy is also pretty wet and has a nice layer of moss on the top to keep it. See? Lots of water. Lots of water. Okay, this is this guy. It's okay to mix up the pots, change them up a little bit. Give him a little kiss. A little kiss. Give him back. Low light plants are my favorite, but I do rotate them. I do move them back and forth. So maybe this guy is here today, but he's gonna, oh no, I brought him over from the shelf. So he was on the shelf, and so I might move him closer to the window just to give him a little more balanced light. Okay, this guy had a little catcher on the bottom. Okay, he's a little wet, but let him kind of, because he's floating a little bit, so I might even, while I'm holding it so he doesn't tip over, pour a little water into the pot so that he has some weight to him, and the water starts blending and connecting. And there he goes, all the way down on the bottom. That was super easy. There was enough water in the, so now you can really see this one's really even water level here and the water level inside. So so the pot is actually tall enough so that it doesn't overflow the soil. So I'm literally watching the water rise up through the middle, so I almost have a pond, and that way, because the water levels are equal, but the plastic cup it sits in is a little bit taller, so I'm able to kind of see the water just kind of hanging out because it's completely submerged. And that guy must have had a little bit of water because he's sitting there pretty nice. It wasn't too dry. So I think I got all the plants in here. Maybe I'll do one or two more, just for good measure. They don't look too dry. These guys have self-watering. This little guy is just a ceramic pot, and I'm testing it because I have a puddle of water in there, so the ceramic I'm hoping is keeping the roots. But this spider plant, they can do both really dry and really wet roots, so I'm testing this with the ceramic pot to kind of protect the roots, but also a little puddle of water to maintain the moisture. And I have that the same with this guy. Inside there, he's in a ceramic pot. You can kind of see right there. But I got my cute decorative rocks in there as well, and a little puddle of water. But because these little tiny pots, they dry out so fast. Oh, no. Risky. Yeah, so I have all of these, but I think I'm only gonna make sure they have something where they fit so that a little puddle of water can keep them moist. This little guy, what a cutie, right? So this was a candle holder. Washed it out really good. Again, ceramic pots dry out super quick, and I always worry about the inside. Again, we talk about the center, the outside having moisture, and the center where the roots are not having moisture. So I really like this little candle holder that I washed out to maintain the water, as well as when I'm going to switch this guy. I'm not even finishing my thought, am I? Is ADHD much? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to pour him in from the top, but because of the ceramic, it's not going to just seep out like the drain holes. So I do kind of have to be a little bit careful with this guy. Go very slow because you're not going to see it down here. But I'll know when to stop watering this guy when I'm still seeing when the water. That's why I really need to wait for it to drain down, because I think I'm almost there. Yeah, he's going super slow. Yep, done already. He didn't need very much. Then I'm going to put him back here and kind of hopefully, let's see if we can see this guy. If you can see the water just floating around, and again, that's because, oh, I didn't even, this is another good point here. This one, I sealed up the hole in the bottom. Either I'm looking for nowadays these ceramic ones with no hole, which I found a couple with no hole, which didn't even know existed, and so I was happy to find those. But then I seal up the hole and also use them as another method of watering. And I can link the video, but there's a Spanish word for it. I can't remember. Of course, I can't remember. But I will. I can look that up and find it and share it with you. But it's definitely one of the other older methods of watering, because then you can plant just the ceramic pot into the dirt around your plants, and then because the ceramic is slowly releasing the water, or the dry dirt surrounding it extracts the water from the pot. It keeps the other plants moist. I'm going to bring you over to one of my plants that I already have it set up. So we'll be right back.